Hole in the headboard, pillow with red spot. Body is misplaced, closet is empty and cremated in your booth. Your man's got headshot. Hole in the headboard, pillow with red spot. Rooftop like I'm bringing 88 back. 98 ski goggles with a wave cap. Informatic, I've been at it. Like adolescents in school, this nigga acting. Y'all been rapping for a long time, huh? But follow my waves and cleaning up, following up. I slaughtered and drink holy water. Murder, kill, burn your will in that order. I'ma show you what a real one bout. He jazzy till I toss his ass out of the house. Say my name, future Hall of Fame. News 11 alert, you and your homies slain. Y'all about dough when y'all don't get it. Only time you flash is if you was photogenic. Only time you rap is during birthdays and Christmas. Kwanzaa, Ramadan, you holiday spinners. I'm a combo against Luchin, holiday nigga. Don't get mad at the system, you was born to be a victim. Headshot. Holding that head.
What is up? What is up? Everybody's probably like, oh my goodness, they got music now? Like, what? Wow. Yeah, we got music now. We upgrading. We moving on up. But
like the Jeffersons.
This is, like the Jeffersons, this is the Savage Collective Podcast. I am your host, Preacher. And we got my man Scorpio. And you guys haven't seen her in a while. But if you look at Preacher's Corner, she was on Preacher's Corner. But we got Miss Kaylie, welcome to the Savage Collective Podcast. This is your first time on the Savage Collective.
Yes.
So welcome.
Woo!
So I'm loving. You see this new setup we got? Like, and before we jump in, We got some stuff going on that I think people will love. Here, let me see if I can. I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna try something while we're doing.
You got to kick us all out and watch.
No, I will not.
Earlier.
I will not. Hold on.
I'm gonna try this, guys, and then everybody just disappears.
Yeah.
If we disappear, we will be back. So I am. Oh, here we go.
I lost my stuff.
So here we go. I'm going to show everybody, and I'll talk as it's on. But we have this show runner. You can see it came up over us. You can't see us, but you can still hear me. But 4 shows, 4 days, 1 mission, real talk, real people, real change. And so I'm loving what we're about to set up. And some days we're not going to want to record because we'll be tired, but consistency makes permanent. And so we're going to do this, and we're going to keep doing this. And so every Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, and Saturdays, we're going to bring something to you guys because that's what you guys deserve. On Facebook, on YouTube. I'm excited. Mondays are going to be Marvel Mondays. Let's go, Scorpio.
Let's go.
That's going to be fun. I love Marvel. Scorpio loves Marvel, and we're excited for Doomsday to be coming out December 18th, I think.
Yes, sir.
And so we are going to every Monday be leading up to Doomsday, and so we'll talk about.
We'll be breaking down new movies. We'll be breaking down we'll tell you new Easter eggs that we found ourselves. We'll be breaking down a bunch of different movies that came out and giving you our perception of what we think the new movie's going to be about and a bunch of the spin-offs and how those are going to, coincide with it. And we're just going to have fun with really Marvel.
It's going to be fun.
It's a good way to start your Mondays off.
I can't wait because and we're gonna we're gonna try to hit every movie, but we have a certain amount of time because we're gonna go right up until I think it comes out on a Friday, so we'll go right up until that week, and then the next week we'll talk about if our theories were right and things like that. Talk about the movie, and then I'm thinking after that, because then it's like, well, what do we do now? we can just keep it at like movie /
keep
TV
going.
Mondays, and we
We'll
can
keep
talk about
going.
different movies and things like that. And so looking at that, so after Doomsday comes out, it might have a little switch, just like a broader thing, looking at Marvel, looking at Star Wars, looking at whatever we want to
DC,
look at.
a bunch of
DC.
different ones.
So I'm excited for that. Wednesdays will be the table. If you want to get on the table, if you want to have a seat at our table is meant really for anybody to come to, sit down. This is where we'll have guests on. Like they get to tell their story. They get to talk about what they're passionate about, and then we can talk about it with them. This will just be a time where we can come sit down at the table. Everyone's welcome at the table. I had this thought almost a year ago. Like, why am I trying to fit in at someone else's table when I don't even belong at their table? So I want to create my own table and have a place for everybody to come to.
Everyone's invited.
Where everybody's invited. So that'll be Wednesdays. Fridays, you see, it's going to be the Savage Collective podcast. What you see now, what you've been seeing the last 3 episodes, but that'll be dedicated for more Fridays. We'll have a couple guests on here and there, but really it's just going to be Kyle and I talking about topics from leadership, recovery, money, fitness, things like that. So it's really going to be a place where you can like hunker down if you want to learn, like, what do I need to do in order to be successful? What do I need to do to grind it out? Things like that. That's what the Savage Collective, hence Savage. That's what the Savage Collective portion of it's going to be. And then what I can't wait for, this is where it's the end of the week, because the next day is Sunday, starts the beginning of the week. So this will be where we just close it out at the end of the week, talk about whatever the fuck you want to talk about. If you want to talk shit about somebody, come on, talk shit about them. If you want to bring them up, and you guys talk shit to each other, go ahead, because I'll be smoking. So I really won't give a fuck. So it'll be Smoking with Preacher, a place where people can just come, laugh, joke. This will be the lighthearted portion of it, because we had started the beginning of the week with Marvel, had a little bit more seriousness, and then dove in on Friday and was real serious, and then we just lightened it up on Saturday. So I'm excited for that. I can't wait to roll all that out and keep going. I'm working on a schedule right now, working on trying to get people scheduled for the table. So I think it's going to be something pretty cool. I'm excited, like I said, for it. But yeah, that's what that's going to be.
So exciting. So look how much excitement. Look how excited
and
you
we
are.
got merch. And we got merch.
Yes.
I dropped some
I'm
merch
excited
today.
about that.
Where I scrapped everything that was in the store originally and just started from fresh. And right now there's 2 designs in there. There's 5 different colors for each design. But one says, I fucking hate this place. And then one says, I freaking hate this place. So there's a censored version, then there's an uncensored version. In case you want to wear it to work and things like that, you can buy the uncensored version.
Why
But if you want to wear it,
the censored version, I mean, come on now.
well, I mean, some places might fire you if you wear the uncensored version.
Hey,
but I mean, if you want to go to your in-laws and you want to wear the uncensored version, you can do so. So,
Wow.
or whatever floats your boat. But we have, I fucking hate it here. So go ahead, check that out. Like I said, I dropped that earlier, and I'll put it in the description on YouTube, and I'll put it in the description on Facebook later. But I'm pretty excited about that shirt. And then, like I said, we have some more designs coming out. I'm working on a Savage Collective like branded shirt. You know, have like the little lion part of the symbol, and yeah, it'll have the lion like right on the corner, and then I'm thinking that's just it, and then just make another one that says the Savage Collective. And so if you want to get that, you can. If you want to get just the logo, you can. But I think that's pretty cool.
I do too. I like it.
Yeah, sounds good.
So we're doing. What's that?
But I got some
Someone's
ideas.
been active.
Yeah, I've been doing stuff. Been making moves. Like I'm still feeling off, but like I said today when I posted, like still got to grind, even if it hurts. Like that's what consistency is about. You do it whether you want to or not, because that's how habits are built. Doing it repetitively, whether you want to or not. Practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes permanent, and the more you do something, the more natural it becomes, and then it just becomes habit, and then that's how you take off. And so I was like, you know what, I was going to scrap this episode, but I was like, you know what, I already made a fucking graphic for it, so we might as well fucking do it. And I didn't want to not do it before we started doing the Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. So I said, you know what, fuck it, we're doing it tonight. On Wednesday night, we're going to start that, and then that gives us Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to prepare for the unraveling of the new Savage Collective platform.
Especially since we both went MIA on Kaylee the other day by accident. So
well, yours might have been on accident. Mine was kind of on purpose because I was.
She blew us. She was starting to get concerned. You know, like where did everybody go? Like what the plan was to do it this way. So
here, keep talking. I'm turning my video and mic off real quick so I can turn the light off because I have my TV as my light and it keeps dimming and brightening. So you guys keep talking. I'll be right back.
It's a work in progress.
Yeah, no, I was definitely concerned for sure, but it's all good. We're here now.
Yeah, it was a rough one. Like I blew up his phone. You should have saw it. I blew up his phone, and I'm like, "Yo, hello." And next thing you know, like I called like a bunch of times. Like I was like, if he's asleep, he's about to wake up now. Like he was so pissed when he got up. He was like, dude, I'm sleeping. I was like, yeah, well, tell somebody that. Like, what? How? And he texted me like it's so angry. He was like, well, how do you want me to text you if I'm sleeping? Listen.
Yo, can I tell you something? Can I tell you something? I love you, Kyle, and I can't lie to you. I wasn't sleeping.
No, he
wasn't.
Ignoring you.
No, he wasn't sleeping.
I was ignoring you. I was ignoring everybody. So
tearing up the phone. So I was like, well, he's gonna answer eventually because his phone.
And then he said,
vibrate and grow up.
When I told him I was sleeping, he said, well, next time tell somebody. I said, bro, how can I tell you I'm sleeping if I'm sleeping? And he just did an angry face.
Just hung up after that.
Like, hey man, I'm not feeling it. I don't want to do it. I was worried. I was like, what is happening? I thought I didn't know what I thought. I messaged Kyle. I'm like, are we still doing this? Is everybody okay?
Yeah, I was being a dick that day to everybody. Like if my best friend Leah's watching, I'm sorry. I was a dick even to her, and I'm hardly ever a dick to her. Like,
so let's dive in on that one. So why would you having an issue the other day?
We're not going to talk about that. That's for.
This is what the podcast is about.
No, this is a whole different episode.
Oh my God! This is what we're talking about here. This is what the podcast is supposed to be about.
Not today. This is a Smoking with Preacher episode.
That's a lie.
See, I can
compartmentalize. Learn
whatever the fuck that word is. I can do that. By this doesn't fall into that category. We'll talk about this on another episode.
I'll bring it up. I'll bring it up. We good. I'll bring it up.
But yo, so at work, one of the girls, she was getting her back cracked, and she said something about lying, and she was like, "I'm a psycho." What did she say? I'm a psychopathological. No, she said psychopathological liar. Totally butchered the word, but It was
A
one of those where you had to be
psychopathological
there.
liar. Yeah.
She
I've
said
met people like
psychopathy.
that. I've met
She
people like
the
that.
word she used isn't even a word. That's what I'm getting at. But
liar, psychopath. See, now you got me trying to figure it out.
Anyways,
yeah, like is that how you spell it?
Anyways,
where's my chat GBT?
Today we're talking about chronic illness, mental health. It's not on there, but mental health and recovering. So there are days where our bodies don't want to cooperate. There are days. See, this is a perfect episode for what's going on. Your mind is heavy. Life is lifey. But life still expects you to show up. You still have to show up. And sometimes people do it and act like nothing's wrong. Like I said, I didn't want to do this. I mean, we didn't do it the other day, but because I just mentally, emotionally, like maybe not physically, like, but even physically, because I haven't really been sleeping as well as I should. So mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, every aspect, I just feel drained, and I'm not the only one. There's other people that feel the exact same way. A lot of people, if you look at like people like Robin Williams, I think about, where everybody be like, oh, he's so happy, but it puts a lot of pressure on a person.
People don't understand they coincide with each other. You know,
absolutely, 100%.
You gotta have your you gotta have your spiritual and your mental and your physical kind of on the same wavelength, or you're gonna be off. You know, so if you're having a stressful day, you're surprised how, you know, it's kind of amazing how when your mind is not where it's supposed to be, all of a sudden your body starts aching for no reason, and you're fatigued and you don't understand why. And it really has nothing to do with your body or your physical, you know, attributes at all. It's really because your mind is like, yo, like I am drained, you know, and that's hard. Sometimes it's hard to tell, you know, when you're at that moment, because life be lifing. You know, we got a bunch of stuff that you do on a daily process that you really don't know. Like, you know, your cup is empty and you really don't know that it's empty sometimes, because some people have like a lot of responsibilities, like kids, jobs, regular, you know, everyday things that they're trying to get done, family, all types of things, you know. So it's hard. But I mean, that's why you have, you know, people to tell you, hey, you know, what's up, you know, let out what's going on, because sometimes you gotta empty it out. Holding it in is not the way to do it.
No.
I know a lot of people do that, and I know that especially the generation before us did it very frequently. But then I think that's what lead to where we're at now.
Well, and I was gonna say that's why, like, because I'm 38, so that's why people in my generation hold it in, because we were told by our parents' generation and our grandparents' generation. Like, I remember my grandpa was hard into it. It's like, no, you're gonna drive on regardless. Like, and then I got into the military, and all my NCOs and my sergeants and everything were from that old generation. And like, no, if you're feeling it, like, okay, feel it, but don't show it. Like, you still have to lead, you still have to perform, you have to be on your game. Like, and so you might have a bad day, but have a bad day inside your house. Like, when you walk outside that door, don't show it, because and then even deeper when you're in addiction, and depending on where in addiction, because you can be in addiction like at your house, you can be in addiction like just with around family and things, and not on the street. But then add on the street aspect of it, where if you're living on the street, like, you definitely can't show that you're having a bad day, because people use that against you, and they any sign of weakness, and like you get it's like being a fish in the water, and there's all these sharks, and then they smell blood in the water, and it's a wrap. So on the street, you have to be hard, and then you come into recovery, and you're like, well, like I can't show this emotion. I can't show that I'm going through anything. Like, and that's the one thing that led me into addiction. Since I was a student pastor and everything, I felt, how can I help other people if I'm showing that I'm going through something? I have to give that presentation that I'm strong and that I don't have anything going on and that everything's perfect. But at the end of the day, like, what does that help anybody? I'd rather have somebody help me who is going through shit and has come out of it and is transparent about it, because then I'm like, oh shit, you know what you're talking about.
I was going to say, on the other end of that, though, because, like, you know, we're admins for our Facebook groups and stuff like that. And, you know, and we do, and you both are recovery coaches. You know, I feel like when you show that vulnerability, that shows other people that we're not perfect and it's okay to not be okay. When
100%.
You know, because if you're not all this and that, eventually when you crack, people are going to be like, well, what the hell just happened? Like, yeah. I thought he was cool. But when you show that vulnerability and you show, like, hey, it's okay not to be okay, that's what helps other people heal, in addition to letting yourself heal.
Yeah, I 100%. Agree.
And that's what happened when I was a student pastor. Like, I had this the executive pastor over me, he used to say these rose-colored glasses, like, everything's perfect, everything's sunshine and rainbows. While behind me, my whole world is crashing and burning to the ground. And I'm like, but it's snowing out, so it's nice and warm now. Like, no, your house is burning down, bro. And so, but then when it happened, because I had this perception that I put out to everybody that everything's good and everything's awesome and I'm okay and I, like, yeah, all this shit's going wrong, but I'm fine. And then when I snapped and I went off the deep end and I fell into addiction, everybody's like, huh?
Yeah.
What happened? We didn't even know he was hurting. And so we have to let people know. That's why, like, some people might be like, man, this dude posts all the time that he's hurting, that he's broken, and that he's heartbroken, and like, but that's I learned when I first came into recovery that if I am going to get better and I'm going to heal myself, then I might not talk about the situation, but I'm going to talk about how I feel, because I'm not going to talk about certain situations in order to protect certain people that are a part of it, but I will talk about how I feel because of certain things, because that's how we heal.
Yeah, you know, with that, you know, but on the other end of that, though, like when you go ghost on people and you don't answer your phone and you don't and you don't say, hey, I'm not feeling it today or whatever, you know, and then you make people worry on the other end, like that also is
yes, I know.
It's the opposite of what you're saying.
Okay, what you're saying.
Yes, you know I know. But look, then I came out and I said it. So I
don't get points for that. What?
I had like 1.5 days where I ghosted everybody, okay? And then I started looking at the things I was posting. I was like, man, now I see why people were flipping. Like, and then it all fades to black. Like, I meant like, and then here this season is fading to black. Like, here this situation, like, things are fading to black. But then I'm like, damn, that could have been taken as way something else.
Yeah.
Like the way everybody else took it, like, yo, like, what's happening? Like, what? Like, maybe we should hit him up, because
I'm dark comments. No one ever said I was the smartest person in the room.
Jesus Christ. But
you know that I will hound you until you answer me. Like,
yo, I think Scorpio said, like, I'm gonna find a way there. Like, he's like, if you don't answer me, I'm finding a way to your house.
Yeah, sometimes it's just easier to just answer the phone and be like, hey, I don't feel like it. Leave me alone for a little bit. I'm going through something. Like, communication is like, and that's in everything, in every aspect of your life. Communication, as we all say, is key. Just saying.
Anyways,
Because
moving on.
I've done I know that I've done that, and I know that it's become. I know that. So in my when I was in my beautiful days of drugs and alcohol and all the madness, I remember I used to do that. I would ghost my family. I would stop talking to them, and it would worry them. So now I don't do that, only because now that I've formed my new relationships with my family and things, I know that if I do that now, it really worries them,
Yeah.
because I'm not in their minds, I'm not sick anymore to that extent. So if I disappear, something really's wrong. Because even when I don't feel good, I'll just, maybe I'm not a talker on the phone, so I'll text them and be like, "Yeah, I'm okay, mom," or "Yeah, I'm good." Or even you, I'll text you and tell you, "Yo, I'm good, bro," or "Hey, what's up?" But if I just don't say anything, then yeah, you're gonna think, okay, something's wrong. And shit, the last time that happened, I broke my foot. Like, I was in the hospital. Like, when people were like, "Yo, where?" Or better yet, did that not happen not too long ago, where you and my father were looking for me because I was in jail. So I mean, sometimes you gotta, and I mean, everybody was worried about me. Like, my mom thought something was wrong, and my dad and you guys ended up having to find me in jail because you were like, "Yo, where is he?" Because I didn't communicate with anybody. But I learned that I learned that I love that now that I have that, because I remember a time where I would disappear and nobody would care.
Exactly.
I remember a time where I burned so many bridges that it didn't, like, my mom and dad did not care what happened, whether they cared, but it wasn't really okay, let's search for her. Let's try to find out where he's at. So I'm blessed now that I have that now. And I try my best, even on my shitty days, not to take it for granted, because I don't want people to think that I don't appreciate that, because I do. Because not a lot of people have that. I That's why I try to make sure that even though I struggle with my ex fiance, and she does her drugging and she's in her lifestyle, even though she pisses me off, even though I have such a shitty, like, I sometimes she gets on my nerves. I try my best that even I'll make sure I answer the phone for her when she calls. When she knocks on my door, I answer the door, and that's only because I know that feeling. I know how it feels when someone doesn't um when someone doesn't answer. And then God forbid something happens, and now you have to deal with that regret afterwards. Which is why it's so important, to like Kylie said, it's so important to communicate, whether it's in the smallest of ways. um I know that I know that I made a lot of mistakes earlier in my recovery, because, like, I was, you get comfortable. So sometimes you're like, "Oh, I won't answer that person," or da da da. But you never know how that person's gonna take it.
Right.
You know, some people take it negatively. Some people get hurt. You might cause somebody else to go into a little bit of a depression or a sad moment because of that. So you just got to be mindful. I at least I try to be. Because
Yeah.
I don't want to cause anybody to have moments.
So leading into the topic, um like you said, you know what it's like for people to not show up. And I think a lot of people in addiction and dealing with mental health and certain family backgrounds and things like that, you know what it's like to not have people show up. But what does show up, because it doesn't ask for permission, is that pain and that brokenness and things like that come from it. And so, like, before I have some stats that I pulled up and found, but before we do that, like, just asking you two, and then even asking people that are watching and people who may come to this after, like, for anybody watching, go ahead and drop it in the comments. But for you two, like, I have a couple questions. Like, one, what do you do when your body is tired but your responsibilities don't stop? Like, I know Scorpio, today you said, when I was like, yo, do you want to do this episode? You were like, man, like, I don't know. I don't know if I really want to. And I even felt that today, like, man, it was a long day, like, and so, but I was like, you know what, I need to show up because people are wondering where the fuck is Preacher. And so, like, what do you do when your body's tired but your responsibilities don't stop? You still got to go to work. You still got to take care of the kids. You still got to do certain things. Like, just because we hurt doesn't mean we can stop life.
Kylie, you want to go first?
Kaylee.
Kaylee. My fault. I'm tired.
It's all good. I answered good. I guess for me, I mean, Preacher, you know, I have MS, so like that's a daily thing for me a lot of the times, especially if I'm like having a flare up. It's a daily. It can be a daily situation for me, and I get up and I do what I can. I take lots of breaks. You know, or I'm just like, hey, I can't do it, but I have to communicate that because you know, my responsibilities don't stop just because I don't feel good, you know. So I try and push through it as best I can, and if I can't, I just, you know, let my family know, like, hey man, I can't do it today. I gotta rest.
That's good.
I agree. I try to I don't know. I always have people that depend on me. So because of that, I don't let my body take the break. You know, you see, so use the example of today. So you see where I'm at right now. Even though I told you I wasn't feeling good, and I got my supplicate shot, so I'm not feeling too great. But you said, well, I'm gonna start it, okay? And then I said, okay, I'm just gonna do it. It's because I show up regardless, and that's how I get that from my family, to be honest. Like my father and my grandfathers and the men in my family, to be honest. You know, my grandfathers, for example, you know, they both are struggling with health issues, but not one day did they not show up for their family or work. You know, and because they knew their responsibilities, you know, are, you know, their health is what it is, but responsibilities are also where it is, you know. So I use the men in my family as clear motivations, like my uncle and my dad, especially, like I use them as examples. Like, these are the people that I need to follow. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's the difference between, like, I hear it all the time. Like, I love watching people like Jocko Willings and David Goggins and Eric Thomas and people like that, motivational speakers, and they talk about it all the time. But that's the difference between mediocre and great. Like, it's mediocre people when their body hurts and when, like, things don't go the way they want. Those are the people that give up. Like I said, you guys, like, didn't see things going on, but look, we come on with all this stuff going on because even though I still found a way to show up and still found a way to make things work, because that's what you have to do. You still have to drive on even when life sucks. Like, even when you're hurting, you still have to push through. And that's the difference between mediocre and great. Like, Tom Brady, I guarantee there were days where Tom Brady didn't want to play football. But Tom Brady showed up regardless of how he felt. I'm a huge Steelers fan. There's a Steelers game against the Ravens where Ben Roethlisberger broke his nose. And guess what he did? He went to the sideline. They put shit in his nose, and he went back out because there's a difference between mediocre people and great people, and the difference is they show up when they don't want to. And so, like looking at these stats real quick, and we can talk about each one. 6 out of 10 adults in the U.S. live with a chronic illness. That's one. 4 out of 10 live with 2 or more chronic illnesses. Chronic illness accounts for 90% of U.S. healthcare spending. People with chronic illness are 2 to 3 times more likely to develop depression. That makes sense. Up to 50% experience anxiety or depression, and chronic illness significantly increases the risk of isolation. And so let's talk a little bit about that.
Well, I think that's a lot. That has a lot to do with, like the generation now, like those stats. Think about it. Nobody really was thinking about those stats, years ago, in our grandfather's age, or even my dad's age, to be honest. Nobody was really checking those types of stats and things like that, because you were meant to suck it up, and push it down.
Suck it up, buttercup.
Yeah, and go on about your life. Now it's, they have days where you can call into your job because you're having a mental health day, which is it's crazy. Like, but I get it, because it's a different time frame. Now, do I do that? No. But that's just, I was built different. I think a lot of it is depending on, how you're raised and what you're, I don't mind talking about it. I'll blow off steam whether I talk to you or one of my other friends and let it out, but it's not going to stop me. It's some. I have a few. I have a few. They answer me when I call them.
Go, hey, Kyle, Scorpio.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
But it's true.
I mean, he's not wrong though. I mean,
there you go.
Look, no one likes people that live in the past. Anyways, keep going.
Sometimes you gotta live in the past to move forward in the future.
Oh my goodness. Six rings. We'll live in that past.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
Hey, how many times does it take Steeler fans to answer like anybody's phone?
And never. They don't, because they suck.
6 fucking rings, baby.
Oh my God. Boo.
Anyway.
Where's the sound effects for this right now?
Hold on. I got you. Hold on. Watch this.
Oh my God.
Hold on. 6 rings, baby.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow. Wow.
What, was something supposed to happen?
You're pretty proud about that, aren't you? Pretty proud about that.
I am.
I'm
pretty proud about
that. I can't hear anything, but that's
You couldn't hear that?
No.
You didn't hear that?
Just watch it back.
Not to listen because he's talking about the Steelers. So let's.
Oh my goodness. At least we don't live in Ohio.
I don't support the Browns, so that doesn't hurt my feelings.
Well, that's a good thing.
I don't think the Browns support the Browns. I don't think the
Zing.
I don't think the Browns
themselves either.
I would say sorry. I would say sorry to the Browns fans, but there are none. So
yeah, we couldn't even have a proper losing streak. We had a whole season where we did nothing but lose, and we were going to give them a parade. And guess what happened? The very last game,
they won.
Yeah,
they won.
The Browns let everybody down.
You know, to have a good draft pick and they still fuck that package up. We're gonna win this one. Like, really?
That's when you just be like, you know what? We'll be Bills fans.
No,
Ouch.
You know, hey, my parents told me, you know why you date a Bills fan?
Why?
Because they don't expect any rings.
Wow. It's true. It's
Thank
so
you.
true.
Thank you for all my fellow New Yorkers.
We just lost a lot of people watching, but yes, this is true. This is true.
All of upstate New York was like, screw you, bro. We're done.
He speaks for himself, ladies and gentlemen, not the rest of us.
But it's all good. But it's all good because there's more Pittsburgh fans in upstate New York than there are Bills fans. So.
That's really kind of sad. Like, that's just Pittsburgh's just not a good team. I'm sorry. And they had Ben Worthlessberger on there. So, I mean, just saying. But I really can't say because the Browns
what's
have
your team?
Watson, so I really can't say anything.
What's your team, Kaylee?
I don't have one.
Oh, because you live in Browns territory. That's why.
That has nothing to do with
She's universal.
Anyways. No.
She's universal. She's with any team.
Oh, no.
But speaking about Browns fans, they probably have an invisible illness that they don't know. No, that was me trying to segue back into the conversation. But see, and that's if you want to talk sports talk, shit like that, that is what Smoking with Preacher is for.
I may have to go on and roast you about this stupid ass.
Yo, I am game. Let's do it.
But you gotta find something else to roast me about the Browns. I mean, I may live in Ohio, but I don't support the Browns. I was born
close enough.
So
close enough.
I'm from Florida.
I understand that. I understand that too because I live up here in Rochester, but I'm not saying I'm not a Bills fan. But I'm not. You know what I mean? Like I've never been a Bills fan. You know.
Every time I walk into the store and I see Josh Allen's face on a carton of cereal or like a box of cereal, I throw up in my mouth.
I would say, do you knock it over? That'd be funny.
I should. I'm gonna start doing that. I'm gonna make sure somebody's walking by and I'm just gonna knock it onto the ground.
You can hate all you want, but you see how he everywhere. So hate all you want.
Yes, because it's Bill's country. That's the only reason.
Bill, they're everywhere. What do you mean? He's on every cereal box
in upstate New York.
Oh my God.
Right, so
I guarantee you, if you go to Pittsburgh, there are 0 Bills fans.
Well, yeah, because why?
But if you go to Buffalo, I guarantee you there are Pittsburgh fans.
Oh, Lord.
I don't know about that.
Anyways, we are going to table this, not for the table, but for Smoking with Preacher, because I think this could go off. I'm excited for Smoking with Preacher. Like,
if you want to get back on
conversations like
you're
this.
You're right. Let's get back on topic. So to talk about mental health and how people just ignore other people, what was wrong with you yesterday?
Oh, we're not talking about that right now. But
you just said back on topic.
And I am. Because I want to look at those things that people don't talk about, because I know like
what you're doing.
No.
Deflecting, redirecting.
Hold on.
Yes.
Look. Because there are things. Because I know, like Kaylee, you have MS, and there are a bunch of other people I know that have illnesses like that, where you go about life, and I guarantee you're in pain, and people don't know it.
Oh, absolutely.
And so there's a lot of people where you have that not really an invisible illness, but you have something where you don't let people know about what's going on, but you still push through and you deal with it, and you push on and you drive on.
And that's what makes me so mad when people are like, "Oh, you use your MS as a crutch," and I'm like, "Okay, hold the fuck up. Let me."
She said, "Bitch."
Let me stop you right there, because you wouldn't know that I have MS unless I tell you, correct? Right. So when I'm in pain and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I can't," I have to have a really bad day for that to happen, because I'm in pain every day. There's something going on every day. Like I just had a shoulder surgery because my shoulder's all messed up. I have to have knee surgery in August because of my disease and all this. That things are going on and things are happening. But like you wouldn't know it unless I say something. And
Facts.
people tell me all the time, "Oh, I forget you even have MS," but but in the same sentence will tell me, "Oh, well, you use that as a crutch."
Well, and that's what I was gonna say. Like, that's what I was gonna say, because there's times like, and I do it all the time too. Like I said, that's the main reason why I fell into addiction, because all the shit I was dealing with, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna deal with this. I'm gonna like just push on, drive on, not tell people, because like, fuck telling everybody, because everybody else has their own problems, so I'm not going to say anything about mine. And so like then you have that one day where you're like, you know what, fuck it, I'm exhausted, I'm not going out, I'm not doing nothing, like I'm just, and I felt that way, but like you guys said, and I absolutely 100% agree with you guys, you tell people. But like, you have those days where you're like, you know what, fuck it, I'm not doing shit, I'm not doing anything, like I've been lugging this weight around, and I'm just tired today. But a lot of people in the world we live in, and this is what's crazy, because the world and society talk about, like Kyle said, having a mental health day and things like that. But then if you do take a mental health day because you're like, I need it, they're like, oh, you're lazy, oh, you're weak, and things like that. And so then you're like, you know what, fuck it, I'm not going to take a mental health day. But then you snap, and then they're like, why didn't you say something earlier? Because when I did, you said shit about it. Like, or your job, you're like, yo, I'm going to take a mental health day. Are you sure? Like, we really could use you. You're like, you know what, whatever, I'll come to work.
Because I'm going to snap on everybody. And that's what makes me so mad. People get so, like, judgmental about that kind of stuff. Like, and that's the kind of stuff that makes people not want to talk about this kind of stuff and not talk about their mental health. Not talk about things like bad days. Because like,
I think that goes both ways, because some people take advantage of it. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, you know, I mean, we're absolutely, that's the problem.
But you know, here's my question, and this is preacher mostly aimed at me. Who you ever once heard me say, I can't do this because I have MS. I can't do X, Y, or and people, and that pisses me off, because people, they'll be like, oh, you do that all the time. Bro, when? Because if you knew me and you really knew me, you would know that I don't do that. I don't need to
receipts.
Exactly. Show me. and then 9 times out of 10, I'm telling them to go fuck themselves, because you know what? You don't know what it's like to walk in my shoes every day. But I also don't put it out there like that. I try not to. But then when I talk about it, like here, I feel like I'm like going crazy, because I don't really talk about it. Not often. And then when I do, I get so passionate about it. I'm just, you know what? Fuck everybody. And let's go there.
A lot of times the people that, because there are a lot of people who are dealing with shit that you don't know. Yeah. And a lot of the people that you account as lazy, as worthless and shit like that, are holding on to a lot of things, and they're just exhausted from fighting something that you can't see, because they are not letting you see it. But inside they are fighting this battle, and every day they're getting up when they're like, damn, I don't want to get up today, but you know what, I need to, because my kids have to eat, my family has to eat, I have to eat, I have to pay rent, I have to do this, I have to do, so I'm going to get up even though I don't want to. And so there's a lot of people where they're like, oh, well, that person's lazy, look, they slept all day. No, they're fucking exhausted from holding this weight, because you stupid motherfuckers don't want to be like, oh yeah, this is happening. No, they're lazy. And so
they don't acknowledge. And then when like you do finally snap or do say whatever, they're like, oh shit, and you're like, yeah, bitch, what? Like, well, you finally lose it, and you're like, oh shit. Woo!
That's why you kind of have to that's why I think a lot of times you need to, like, as the other person, you kind of need to catch yourself. I mean, you never know, and this goes for whether you have underlying issues or not. You don't know what the other person is going through. Absolutely. So, you know, you sometimes you need to take a minute and kind of be like, okay, hold on, I don't know what you're going through today. You can, and maybe I need to pull back, you know, instead of getting pissed at you. You know, like if somebody fucks, like little things, like you go and you order something from like McDonald's or something, and they fuck up your order. Now, 9 times out of 10, some people get like really pissed about that, or to the, like, why did this person fuck up my?
I used to have a coworker who'd be like that. She crashed out, like she'd be like,
but you don't know.
Those motherfuckers put mustard on my hamburger.
But you don't know. But you don't, and then like they'll attack those person, like, how hard is it to do this job, blah 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 blah. But you don't know what that person was going through, or and then when you attack them, then you catch an attitude when that other person loses their shit and damn near ready to jump out the window and kill you.
And that's the thing. Nobody considers the other person.
No.
Ever. Because the person who snapped more than likely is going through a lot of shit, and that one thing is what caused them to crash out. But then you have the worker who they're like, yo, I woke up this morning and my, like, let's just use Kaylie with MS. Like, let's say there's somebody with MS, but you're like, you know what, I still got to work, I still got to feed my family. So they wake up and their body is just hurting, and they're like, I don't want to go to work. Then they have to go work at McDonald's, and they're like, deal with all these crank ass customers, and then one comes in and they're like, yo, I order no pickles and you put 2 pickles. Take the fucking pickles off. Like come on. Half the shit we like crash out about, it's not even like a valid crash out reason. Like you put pickles on my burger, take the pickles off and throw them on the fucking ground.
Exactly.
Exactly. I remember. Huh?
Communication is a big deal. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, no, I'm listening.
But that's what I'm saying. But again, I'm saying, like, that's where communication comes in, and that's where also like knowing your people comes in. Also, you know what I'm saying? Like, know when when you know your village and you know your people, you recognize when something's wrong. Like, not to bring up Monday again, but like I knew something was up, but I used my context clues and I figured out, okay, something's happening. But like, and you reach out to your people, and you have to also have that compassion a little bit and be like, okay, I recognize there's something going on. Do you want to talk about it? Have that communication, because man, I think that's like half our problem in the world today, like including in like other situations. You know what I'm saying? Like communication. If people would just communicate with each other, we would have like so many less
fucking
problems.
shit. People that don't communicate.
Yo, tell me about it. And it sucks having friends that don't do it are the worst. But I know that it's I remember so I remember watching my grandfather. Like, I know that he was going through, he was doing chemotherapy like very often. So like that was taking a lot out of him. You would never have known. Like he was an old style type of man. So he didn't show it, and if he did show it, it was like to my grandmother behind closed doors. Like him being weak or him not being able. But other than that, when he walked out of his bedroom door, he was himself, because that's the way you hold yourself, and that's how he was raised. Now, nowadays, unfortunately, the reason why people bug out now is because you're supposed to use your problems and communicate and tell somebody. But when you don't, and you overly do it, like every day you complain about something. Oh, this is that reason, because I have this issue or that issue. Then it starts to lose its like validity. Like this is not important, and that's what I mean when I mean people are take advantage of it, because and the world is so picky that it only takes one person and then the whole group is judged. Absolutely. So it's so
one bad apple.
And it's true. If one person takes advantage of your mental health day, then everybody is a parent. It doesn't matter if you have or not.
That's why they came about it, because they noticed people need mental health days. But then people started taking advantage of that. And so it's like we have it now,
Right.
but now people are taking advantage. So now it's frowned upon again.
Exactly.
And so
And
real quick
They
before we continue, for anybody who's watching, who comes across this, go ahead and drop in the comments. What's something that you deal with that people don't understand? What's something that you deal with that people don't understand? Drop it in the comments. Let us know. Start a conversation in the comments. Let's hear it. So keep going.
I forgot that.
One of the things that I think I deal with that people don't really, some people have a hard time getting is trying to balance my everyday life and my sobriety while having someone in my life that's not in sobriety. And the constant the constant struggle of remembering that, you know, I love this person and I've been with this person for so long that regardless of what everybody else says or judges, I try to maintain that person in my life because it's important, you know, because I remember a time and place when no one kind of did that for me, you know.
Well, I think it's because pain, like you talk about that, and you've experienced it.
Mm-hmm.
So you understand. And I think it's because, and I think about, there was a time when I didn't understand addiction because I was on the outside of it and I had never experienced it. And even though I worked in, like, at Open Door Mission in Rochester, like, and worked with people that were homeless and people that were in addiction and recovery, like, I worked in it before I was in it, but I didn't really understand it. But I think pain, going through it, things like that, it changes your perspective on it. And so, like, I'm able to understand people in addiction because I've been there. I've experienced the pain of it. I can help people who have lost their families and who can't talk to their kids because I've experienced it and I experienced it. And so I think that's along the lines of what you're talking about. Like, you can't, and of course there's people who are advocates for people in certain situations, even though they haven't experienced it. But you can understand it a lot more and be a lot more helpful when you have experienced and you have gone through that pain.
I was gonna say, unless you lived through addiction, you are not a good advocate for a person who is not who for a person who's in addiction. You know what I'm saying? Until you've experienced it. But then on the other side of it though, like you were saying, you have got this situation where you've got this girl that that you love and that you care for, and she's still in her active addiction. But now you kind of get like the other perspective of the family members, like what we put our families through. So, like, you have a unique perspective on both sides.
That's a new one. You don't understand the kind of problems you put your family through, and now this kind of falls into why I communicate with my family now, because I know now that if I don't get a phone call or that person goes missing or that person disappears, as the other person now, I know that, okay, I'm not sleeping 100% well, because in my head I'm like, okay, I hope you're okay. I hope that you found some place to sleep tonight, or that you're safe tonight. And I'll only know when you finally communicate with me, what's wrong or what's going on, or if you're even alive and well, which sucks, and thinking of back, I remember us being in Preacher's car, and I remember doing that to my mom on a regular, like calling her for money, getting the money, and then just ghosting her.
We did it all the time.
We did it all the time. It was a regular night thing. You know, if you didn't make money throughout the whole day, then like at 8 o'clock, you just start going through your contact list of all your friends and family that you could text or call and make up any fucking excuse you possibly could make to get money. And then when you got the money, that was it. You ghosted that person. You know, didn't tell them what you were doing, didn't tell them how you were living, didn't tell them thank you, nothing. And that was it. Now to be on the other end
and then let them tell you no.
Yeah, and
let them tell you no and watch what you did.
You would attack them. You would either attack them or you would or the big one was guilt tripping them. You know, and making them feel bad about not being able. And some of them just didn't have the money. Like I remember there were times I would like piss my mom off, but she just didn't have the money. Like the money's not there.
Or how many times did were people like, oh yeah, I'll give you the money just to shut you up and get you off the phone, and then we'd be sitting there waiting, like, yo, when she said she was gonna send it, I don't know, and then you call back, oh, I'm gonna send it, and then eventually they'd stop even answering. Like,
because
there's only so many times you can gas up your car.
I need gas for my car. Help me. You know, there's only so many. Like I remember and then the excuses you come up with are so out of like
outrageous.
It's hard.
I'll pay you back. I'll pay you back. Bullshit. You're not paying nobody.
I do it. Like I get it now because like, okay, so I'll be here talking to you on the phone. And you've been on the phone plenty of times where this girl, she'll come in here and start like, you know, she'll come home and hey, how you doing? Da da da. And then you can hear the conversation as me and you are talking. The things that she makes up in her head to convince me to give her money or to try to, or I'll listen to her as she's in the corner of the room, as she's finagling in her head how she's going to ask somebody or shake down somebody for money. And I'm like, nothing you're saying makes sense. Like, do you understand that it doesn't make sense? Like, you're about to ask your mom that?
But that's what we did.
I know. That's
like
insane.
So what's crazy is I looked back in my phone and I still have conversations with people. And I was reading it probably like, I'd say a year or so ago. I remember it was July 4th. I was working at the clubhouse and we were sitting outside because we were doing like a July 4th celebration. And I was scrolling through my phone and I was like, damn, I still have conversations from like back in my addiction. I'm reading these conversations and I'm like, the fuck? Like I actually said this to people? Like,
yes. Like shaking down friends that you haven't talked to since you were like in elementary school.
Like, yo, it's been a while, bro. No, it hasn't been a while. It's been 30 years.
Get some money though. Let me borrow some money though.
Yeah, I know. I haven't talked to you in a little bit.
And not like $5 or $10.
Can I get
and not like $5 or $10? Can I borrow like $20 or $30, $50? Right. You know, you got 100 on you that I could borrow. You know what? I look back now, and I hope that he's watching this. My boy Pete has been my friend since we were since I want to say since I started college, and this dude, without a doubt, knew every time that I was calling him with bullshit.
I remember when you would call him.
Exactly. But he would drop $100 every time. And he knew. Now, here I am years later, I'm in my recovery. I call him up and I'm talking to him. And he's like, dude, I knew that something was wrong. Like, but as your friend, until you were ready to tell me, I wasn't going to pull your card out. And I was going to give you the money because that's what, as a friend, is what I'm supposed to do. Mm-hmm. If you're asking me for it, you're asking me for it because you need it. Now, granted, it's for drugs or it's for whatever. But if I didn't give it to you, God only knows what you would have done to get it, or who you would else you had to, lie to or make your life worse by lying to this person and that person. So if I'm saving you from lying to your mother, then yes, lie to me and I'll give you the money.
And that's the thing, because if you and I've thought a lot about this, because, and I've talked about this on when it was Preacher's Corner, but I'll talk about it now, like, because not a lot of people know about it, like, because I now that, like, I've been far removed, I don't really, like, look back there. But, like, and Scorpio knows, a couple weeks before I got clean, I put a green light out on somebody. Like,
I know.
So, and I remember she came, like, she took the money and everything. We were sitting at the trap, waiting. They're like, she's not coming back. She took your money. And so I ended up, this is when I was working at Adidas, and I ended up going to work. And I think, Scorpio, you had driven with me to work. And when I was in there, his sister-in-law was like, yo, Preach, you can't let that go. You can't let that go. That's your reputation. Like, if you let her do it, then the next person's going to do it, and the next person's going to do it. And so I was like, fuck. Okay. If you see her, beat her ass. Like,
so he told a whole bunch of random girls on drugs.
It's not funny, but
go and find this girl.
It could have been really bad. It could have been really bad.
Had we not, and then we ended up going back, like, into the hood that night. And
we were at Burger King.
Girl.
We were at Burger King. She walked up and she's like, "Hey, here's your money." And I was like,
and explained what had happened.
Oh my God! And that's
then
when
he
I
had
realized,
to stop. Yeah,
that's when I realized. And because I've thought a lot about that moment. I still think about that moment, because
that was bad.
And if you remember, there was Little J, and Little J was originally from Florida, and Little J at the time we knew him had tattoos on his face, things like that. Him and his wife were divorced, but she was doing her thing, and they still knew each other, but they I think they were still legally married, but they were doing their own thing. She was lady of the night, we'll call it. He was dealing drugs and using and things like that. And but what's crazy is if you knew their backstory, because they were from Florida, they had kids. They had their own lawn care business. Like, they were doing good things. And so, like, I thought a lot about that, and like, how do you go from having your own, like, lawn care business to being professional, being married, having your kids, to all of a sudden you and your wife are separated. She's doing her thing, you're doing your thing, you're stealing. He got arrested. Like, I have his picture in my phone in the article. He got arrested for grand theft auto and kidnapping. Like, and so it's like, how do you go from that to this? And I thought it's doing those things that you never thought you would do. And it started for us with, you're asking people for money, and eventually they get tired of giving you money.
Right.
But
that's when they're like, and just why, like what you said, your friend was like, well, I'm going to give it because if I don't give it to you, you're going to have to find a way to get it. And that's when we started boosting. That's when we started cheating, scamming people. Like,
but you asked that, I think a lot of that has to go to, like you just asked, how do you get to that point? And it goes back to exactly how we started the podcast. It's because when you have an empty cup and you don't have anything else to give, then you start, you don't have any, there's like, your mental health is so important. And when you don't pay attention and you ignore shit and you stuff shit down, then eventually it starts to come out. And then you try any way, exactly, and you try to find any way to deal with it. 9 times out of 10, it's drugs. It's, oh, well, I need to go get a drink tonight to kind of deal with the bullshit. I need to smoke to feel better, or I need to, and it always starts small.
Whatever it is.
And it always starts small. You know, it always starts on, oh, I'm going to just do it once in a while. Oh, it's just a weekend thing. Oh, it's just an everyday thing. Oh, it's an every night thing. And then, as you know, it explodes. But that's because when you don't deal with your bullshit, that's what happens. I mean, that's why that's why it's so important. Like, you can't stress how much it is to talk. Like, don't be afraid to speak. But it's hard when you don't, like, if you don't have a trusted, and that's another thing, if you don't have a trusted circle, then you don't feel comfortable speaking. I don't feel comfortable letting this out.
Isolation. That's not isolation, because
isolation.
Isolation. I'm not going to say isolation, because there's a difference between being isolated. Isolation, because seclusion is good. Seclusion is good.
Seclusion is fine.
Isolation is bad.
Yes.
But no, I agree. Sometimes you have to seclude yourself and be like, okay, I have to regroup. Let me figure some stuff out. And then you come back to it. But when you start isolating yourself and start cutting yourself off systematically from like your friends, your family, your trusted circle, that's when you start going down that slippery slope. And that's when things start getting a little hairy.
And that's why I was like, you know what? That's why I reached out to Scorpio and Kaylie tonight and was like, yo, we have to do this episode tonight. Because I noticed, because I've been there when I was a student pastor. I've been there. I know what it was like to not seclude myself, because seclusion people use to like, let me seclude myself away from everybody so I can think and study and things like that. But then when you start isolating yourself, and that's what I noticed I was starting to do. And I said, you know what? Nope, fuck this. I'm not letting this happen. I need to, and then I slowly turned it from isolation to seclusion, because that's when I came up with all these graphics and shit like that. But I was like, yo, now that I secluded myself and did all this, now I need to do something with it. And the only thing I could think of was jump on the podcast, because that's, at the end of the day, it's my not that it's my new addiction, but it's the way that I cope now. Like,
it's like therapy,
because
kind of.
It's like,
it is 100%, because even though I'm not talking about the situation, I'm still talking about the situation, if that makes any sense.
Right. And you're dealing with it in your own way. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not secluded, you're not isolating yourself from people. You're having conversations. You're laughing, like, things to help you get better, even if you don't realize that's what you're doing. You know?
Exactly.
I mean, at least that's how I.
You're right. That's why it's so important. Like, even if you're bad at communication, okay, fine. So you try to find there's so many. We're in a time period, which is awesome, where there's like a million things that you can do to relieve stress or deal with it, regardless of how you deal with it. Whether it's playing games, communicating with people, going out, however you deal with it. Yo, for real. For some people, it's sex. Like, it is what it is, man. However you feel better about what you're going through to relieve your stress.
Just don't let sex become an addiction as well.
But anything could become an addiction, whether it's 100%. It doesn't matter whether it's sex or it's video gaming. So everything is in moderation. You gotta have moderation.
Anything done too much becomes an addiction.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Which is moderation is such an important thing. You gotta know, okay, well, maybe I'm doing this too much, but that comes with communication. You may not be able to see it, but your friends or your family around you can always see it, which is why sometimes you need somebody to be like, yo, put you in check. Like, I need my friends sometimes to put me in check. Like, yo, what's going on? Or there's plenty of times where if I'm not laughing or smiling, that's a big one for me. Like, if I'm not laughing or smiling, a lot of people will call me out on it and be like, well, what's wrong with you? And I sometimes have to check myself. Like, maybe something is wrong. Maybe I just don't know. So maybe I need to go to like one of my groups and talk about it. Or I need to go and call my mom or you or my dad up and kind of like let it out and be like, yo, this is what's going on. And I think it's a problem. You got to know yourself. And that's a big one too. I don't think a lot of people know themselves anymore.
No, not at all.
And because you're so worried about, and that's why I don't do Facebook anymore the way I used to. Like, I'm not on social media as much as I used to, because me personally, I feel like it's toxic. I feel like if I watch Facebook or all this bullshit too much, I get very like anxious and my anxiety gets out of whack, because I'm worried. I focus on other people's shit when really I need to focus on me.
You judge your moments off other people's moments, and
what you shouldn't do.
And at the end of the day, most people, when they post online, they don't post their bad times. They just post.
Of course not.
They post their highlight reels. That's why, like, when I post, I don't give a fuck. If I'm feeling good, I'm gonna post about it. If I'm feeling bad, I'm gonna post about it, because I'm not gonna be one of those people who's like, you know, I'm only posting when shit's good. No,
but you're one of the rare ones.
If you're gonna post, post everything.
Exactly.
And give people a roundabout view of your life, and that's I'm going to tell everybody, like, good or bad. But some people are like, nope, I'm only posting my highlight reels.
They're never gonna, and that's never gonna happen. You're never gonna find where most people are gonna sell their bad and good days.
No, not at all.
No one wants to see them in that light, unfortunately. But again, that's because of the way the society is. I mean, society makes you feel like that. That's why I don't do Facebook like that. I feel like Facebook and a lot of the other social medias, that's what they're about, is about making you envious of the next person and 100%. What they have. 100%. You know, and I don't like feeling like that. I should be proud about what you have. You know, I should be, you know, like, oh shit, preacher is doing this in his life. Oh shit, I should be proud about it, not envious because I'm not at that point, you know, and a lot of people don't feel like that, you know. See, and
this is the thing, like, and again, Eric Thomas, Jocko Willings, David Goggins, if you never watch them, go check them out. Awesome. Like, David Goggins and Jocko Willings, they're ex-Navy SEALs, and then Eric Thomas, motivational speaker, like, has written books, things like that. But one thing they talk about is, and all of them talk about it in their own different way, is like, you're sitting here a lot of times when you're judging your life off someone else's highlight reels, or looking at someone's success, and you're like, damn, man, look, they're successful. Look what they did. They got that car. Fuck, I wish I had that car. Like, you're looking at the end results of what they had to do to get it.
Exactly.
And so you're judging. They could have been grinding for 10 years, and you're sitting there not have grinded a day in your life. You're like, man, I want that car. Then put in the fucking work they put in.
Yeah.
It goes back to the getting up and doing it, regardless if you want to or not. They got up and did shit regardless if they wanted to or not. They were getting up at 5:30 and working out when you were sleeping until 8 o'clock in the morning. Like, right. if you want something great, then do something great. And if you want what they have, do what they did to get it. But the problem is, not many people want to do what successful people did to become successful. Like, that's the problem. People want to want the results, but they don't want to do what it takes to get there. They want the car, but they don't want the blood, sweat, and tears that people had to pay to get that car, or get that house, or have that money, or have that job, whatever it is. Like, if you want it, do what they did to get it.
Yeah, which is a big one.
And as I say, sometimes it's so hard to be an admin, like what Kyle, you said, you're not on Facebook and stuff, and I can totally understand why. I admin for a few groups, and like sometimes the stress of that, you're just like you burn out, and that's like you got to watch your mental health on that too, because you can burn out because you're helping people with their problems and this and that, but they're looking at you because you're a role model, and you're like, oh, I can't show that part of my life. But I'm like, at the end of the day, I feel like that you do need to show that vulnerability, because at the end of the day, you do got people looking up to you.
Well, that gives them the permission to show it too.
Exactly. Yeah. And that, being a leader and being like, hey, okay, my life may not be perfect, but here's what I got, and it's okay to have your bad days.
Yeah, I agree.
100%. But
Definitely
I think we have beat this horse long enough. But I do like the conversation, and I think this is a good and this is why I like the structure that we're creating, because conversations can continue on different I guess you could say shows, like and so like this is the kind of topic, like, yeah, we start the conversation on the Savage Collective, and I was, yo, I'll because usually this would be on Friday, but it's like, yo, let's talk about this on Wednesday. Like, let's talk more about it on Wednesday, or let's talk about it tomorrow on Smoking with Preacher. Like, because this is something that isn't talked about enough. Mental health and dealing with, like, it started off with chronic illness, but it does at the end of the day, because I guarantee you the MS that Kaylie has affects her mental health. Like, in mental health and addiction and recovery, all of it go hand in hand. Mental health is everywhere, regardless of who you are, what you do. Like, it affects everybody. And so I know I'm going on someone's show in June to talk about mental health, and I'm excited about that, because I have become more and more of an advocate for mental health. Like, and I'll just be upfront with people. This morning I found out I have anxiety medicine coming to me in the mail, like from the VA. So now I'm starting to be on anxiety meds. Like, and at first I didn't want to be on anxiety meds. Like, because there's that stigma. Like, oh shit, you're on anxiety meds? Like, but now I'm like, yo, I need it, because I need it to help me feel better. I don't want to use it forever, but it's just like any supplement or something like that. It can help bring you into something, and then you can take care of it on your own.
Being on medication, sometimes you have to be, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be on that shit forever. I mean, you can eventually get yourself off of it when you decide
100%.
But there's also that, on the other side of that, though, there's also medications that you probably are going to be on forever, because you think that, and that's the thing I feel like is so that people struggle with also, is that, you get on this medication and you're starting to feel better and you're like, okay, cool. And then you stop taking the medication and you go right back down into that spiral.
Yeah, I'm known for doing that. I'm
terrible at taking my meds.
Look, and a good analogy would be if you were like jumping from a plane, skydiving, and your parachute opened up, you wouldn't be like, yo, like, oh, I'm free falling, and if I don't open this parachute, I'm gonna smash. And then you open the parachute, you're like, oh, look, I'm good. No one sits there like, oh, I'm floating to the ground, I'm good now, let me cut the parachute.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you're gonna fall, you're gonna crash, you're gonna burn, you're going to die, because you're gonna smack the ground, and like, but no one would do that. So why do we? And I speak for myself, because I do the same thing. Like, why do we, when we're like, oh well, now I feel a lot better, so now I'm gonna get off my meds? Right. No, stay on them. Like,
If somebody got music going on in the background, I keep hearing. Am I hearing things?
You're hearing things.
I'm not, though.
That might be my thing. That might be because my game is still going on in the background.
No, you need to let it. Maybe you need to. You're going crazy, Kaylie.
Don't do that now. Come on now.
and the type of music it was. If she was hearing that in her head, that would have been creepy as fuck.
Yeah, because that was that. Because I know what it's like. Because I'm playing Harry Potter, so I know it's like that. It's that like like I can tell.
So we're like, what is that? What is happening? Like,
I didn't know you could hear that, because that's why I have my earphones on. So I'm like, you can't hear that. But I guess
let me not hum it. If I do the tune, YouTube won't let us. They'll like,
they'll knock us off.
We noticed the Harry Potter theme. Copyright.
Oh my god!
But yeah, so mental health. We definitely need to keep this conversation going, because it is something that needs to be talked about. And so we probably will talk about this more whether it's on Smoking with Preacher, whether it's on the table. Shit, we can even wrap it into Marvel Mondays because Tony Stark is a basket case of mental health.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thor, all of the heroes are a basket case for mental health. Like, and so it's something that wraps and encompasses everything that we deal with. And so we're definitely going to keep the conversation going. We'll definitely bring Kaylie back on because she is very knowledgeable in it. And if you want to get on the Savage Collective podcast, Smoking with Preacher, the table, even if you want to get on Marvel Mondays and hash it out with Scorpio and I, we would love to have you. Like,
You don't want to hash it out with
Have
me.
us a healthy debate.
healthy,
Healthy
debate.
It's not going to be healthy. It won't be healthy.
But the next thing we'll be doing is Marvel Monday, and we're not gonna look at any specific movie right now. The first episode of Marvel Monday is gonna be looking at Doomsday, coming up with what we think is gonna happen, looking back on what has happened, and our theories on, like, with Kang. What was Dr. Doom something that they were planning or already, or was it something that they like pulled out of their ass because they're like, fuck, Jonathan Majors got cut and now we need to figure something out. So we'll talk about things like that, looking forward into what we'll be doing with that. So I'm excited about that. Kaylie, thank you for coming on. Yes, I didn't communicate, and we could have done this on Monday, but we didn't because I was being an ass. Or was it yesterday?
So, and thank you so much for having me on here. But I think tonight was the night we were supposed to do it.
100%. Everything happens for a reason.
Absolutely.
Everything happens for a reason. Because, and look, we wouldn't have had all the backgrounds and things like that. And so, and I wouldn't, but it's true. I wouldn't have even thought about doing this if I didn't have that, if I didn't have that going on. And so I would not have thought about doing any of this. And I would not have thought about Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday and Saturday. And so everything happens the way that it needs to happen.
Absolutely.
But I am grateful for both of you for on a whim. I gave you guys half an hour to get ready. So I thank you guys. I thank everybody for watching. If you haven't already, go over to our YouTube channel. It's at the Savage Collective Podcast on YouTube. Go ahead, subscribe. I don't even know if YouTube has a bell anymore, but if they do, hit the bell so that you can be notified whenever we drop a new episode, which will be every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Talk about consistency. We are going to be grinding.
That's what 2026 is all about.
There you go.
Anyways, I want to give a shout out to my homeboy, my other half. Well, he's not my other half. Let me change.
Whoa!
Oh,
what are we breaking down today?
what's on tap?
Is that where you were yesterday?
Yo, if he's watching
what
this,
is happening?
If he's watching this, he's probably like, skirt? Other half. He is not my other half.
Conversation, buddy.
I am A1. He is A2. He is Antoine. I met him when I went to college. We are not other halves. But my boy Antoine, the song you heard at the beginning is his song, Headshots. He gracefully, and I am grateful for the fact that he's letting us use his song as our theme song. And so you guys will hear that every day. Well, not every day, but Monday I have a little Marvel song we're going to pull out.
Well,
so
you're his other half, so that's the least he can do.
Oh, my goodness. Whatever. Hopefully that'd be sick if he comes up with like a tailored theme song. Not
nice.
Taylor Swift, but tailored. I would never have Taylor Swift do our theme song, regardless how big we get. Will never happen. That'd be sick because eventually, like, Scorpio knows where I want this podcast to go. I want to interview Jelly Roll and Eminem by the time I'm dead. So if one day, and you know what, I'm gonna, every episode we do, I'm gonna talk about that because
they're into wrestling too, and I would love that. So I mean,
and they're huge. Awesome. Both of them are huge into recovery.
Yes.
Both of them smoke hella weed too. So like shit,
that would be
awesome. They could be on Savage Collective Podcast. They could be on Smoking with Preacher. We could talk about recovery, shit like that. So but eventually that'd be cool if Jelly Roll and Eminem did our theme song. I would die. I would die.
Me too. And I would be so mad and let me up there when Jelly Roll was on. I would be like, bro.
Yo, I after the episode, I'd be like, peace, had a good life.
Okay, exactly. I wouldn't even know what to say the whole time. I'd just be like, oh my god.
I probably wouldn't know what questions. I'd be like,
what are we talking about?
What are we talking about?
You know how have you seen Talladega Nights where he's like his hands just creep?
It would definitely be a fun experience to do that, and I'm telling you, Jelly Roll's wife, Bunny XO, also would be awesome to have on the podcast too. Just saying.
Yo, I'm telling you. So that is my goal. So if anybody knows anybody that knows anybody, let them know. I want them on my show.
I'll get with you after the podcast, but you can actually email her on her podcast that they do, and like they answer and everything. So like, just saying, I'll give you that information after the podcast after we're done.
Thank you, because we're gonna need it.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you communicate.
Well, shut the fuck up. Anyway.
Jesus. Communication.
Listen here. Anyways, but I thank everybody. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. And we will be back on Monday. So,
yes, sir.
Everybody, love you guys. Stay humble. Stay hungry. Stay savage. We're out of here.
Holding the headboard, pillow with red spot. Body is misplaced. Closet is empty and cremated.